Yo, yo, yo. Yeah, so I decided with the power of free will that I was in fact going to do another stream today. But, exclamation point at the beginning for those of you joining in early. This one's gonna be a shorter one. We have around 2.5 hours. We have around 2.5 hours to create peak, to have some fun, and to make something happen. So what can you do in Chaos Zero Nightmare with 2.5 hours, right? That is the main question that we gotta ask ourselves today. And that's what we're gonna solve today. What I have done so far for the dailies is I've used my daily stamina, and we are very, you know what? Way too close to level 60 actually. 1200, that's 40 stamina. Oh well, we will get there, is what I would say if I wasn't going to go and finish the level right now. Is what I would say if I wasn't going to go and finish it right now. So let's continue farming for the newest sets, because you can never have enough of these pieces. You need to build a Renoa, you need to build a Diana, you need to build a Heidemarie. Like at this point, might as well just get it done. Do you recommend Persona cards as a part of the Heidemarie save data? It really depends. Is your plan to go for a 4 divine deck? If you're not going for a 4 divine deck, I would absolutely smack in a Persona. And only in the case of you going for a 4 divine deck would it even be a discussion for you to not go with one. Alright, let me see. Yeah. So this is the deck we built yesterday in a bit of action. Obviously this is not under normal means actually optimized, because we specifically need a discarder, right? Like we can't really be paying 2 for this Persona card, it just doesn't add up. But yeah, this deck is already super potent, and yeah, the expected damage per turn is probably close to like 36,000. Entirely on her own by herself. No help needed. And yeah, that is pretty interesting. The 25% Divine Epiphany upgrade potential is worth it. I heard it's not a flat. Yeah, it's not a flat one. It really depends. Are you maining said character, yes or no, right? So if you main a character, getting around 5% plus divine chance increase can be worth it, because you need to think in big numbers. Let's say you epiphany a card 100 times. Does it matter to you that it becomes divine 25 times versus 20? Right? Only really useful for main characters. Only really useful for characters you want to dedicate a lot of resources to. Shouldn't be done on characters where you don't intend to get a divine deck. Right? But yeah, have a look at this deck. This deck is super simple. We have one card. It creates Effulgent Blades in the discard pile. And then we have a card that triggers them. And then we have a card that triggers them again. And that's how you win. Yeah. Heidemarie, she really, yeah, she's super complicated. Impossible to play. Cannot deal any damage. Could never deal any damage. And yeah, it's very difficult. Very difficult. But yeah. Can we get my builds on the Discord for like 9 and such? I figure out a way to like properly put them up there earlier. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is a chance for a generational highlight. The only thing we need is extra damage. And to make this more realistic, we actually need to leave the simulation, because otherwise we're getting this like submarine sound, and this brings bad mojo, bad Vuju, bad luck, right? So here we go. Extra damage is what we need. Extra damage is what we want. Extra damage is what we get. Fuck. That's the wrong type of damage boosting. Then again, calm down. Not all hope is lost. At what level is it recommended to start farming fragments? The only time it really makes sense to spend stamina to farm them is when you can beat stage 10. And the only time it really makes sense to spend stamina on farming them by collecting them from a chaos run is the moment you get 3 legendary pieces instead of 2. What's up, WG Bring You SMV? Aye, been a while since I had that one. So, everything into crit damage or a bit of attack is fine as well. If we can, basically we need to win a 50-50 5 times in a row. How hard could that be? So, maybe you didn't know about it, maybe you haven't heard it yet, but let me tell you, this set is actually peak for Tresor. Agony will get an update and it will crit. Yeah. And if you discard cards from Tresor and then get them back later, just so you get more crit chance, that's how it works. Right? That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Now, which of you were still believing? Who here in chat was still believing in this piece after that first upgrade? Who here was still believing in this piece after upgrade number 1? Huh? Who here was still believing in this piece after upgrade number 1? Raise your hand. We don't need extra damage that much. So yeah, there we go. Crit chance with 12% crit damage. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. But is it pretty better than what we currently have? Let's have a look. And y'all tell me what you think. Left or right? In both cases, one roll went, we don't talk about it. So, in comparison, 9.6% crit damage. And so plus 9% crit, 9.6% crit damage, minus 9% extra damage. Hard to say, right? Hard to say. The real question is, do you care, right? Love the last video. Luck on the sorties. Hey, appreciate it. Do you know how to get the Delta tokens besides the free ones? There was an event. Usually it's events. At the moment, it's just events. Like, you can pay for them. So, for example, if you really like this feature, you can spend $4.99 a month to get an additional attempt a day. So that means for $4.99 you're buying 30 attempts. That's the only thing I would consider like worth if you wanted to spend for it. You also get your money's worth in crystals. You get some sands of time. You get some communication for more affinity. And you get a couple of these funky ones, but that's not too important, right? This one here is like an additional run a day. You have to see, but outside of that, where else do we get them? Here, for example, if you play Sortie, there were 3 tasks. One of them was giving you 5 delegation modules, and then the rest comes currently from the login. Comes from the login right here, where on day 6 we get 7 more. And I think there's a chance we might just see them starting to pop up in something like the seasonal store. I could see them become available there in the future. Yeah. Could definitely see them become available there in the future for sure. Totally worth my points, trust me. I'm an expert. Don't look at how we got there. Look at the result. Is this smart? No. No, this is pretty stupid. But I don't really care. Do you think it's worth buying it monthly? I would say so. Like, for example, it really depends on how much time do you have on your hands and how much do you care, right? Like, for example, the extra... Ooh, we got level 60. Nice. So, the extra attempt and all that stuff... I don't know. I think it adds up. See, that's the thing. The patch notes. The patch notes just made things look better than they actually are. And that is because right here... This is what they actually meant. They called it the half anniversary ticket, but that's also the name of the selector, the half anniversary ticket. So the way they described it in the patch notes was just pretty stupid, and this is what they meant. $4.99 for all of these rewards in here. Does it give a buff to Sortie? No, it gives a buff to the amount of Sortie currency you get when playing Sortie. It makes, I think you get a 20% bonus to Sortie currency gain. I knew it meant this, but it would have been nice. It would have been nice. But also, I feel like it would have split the community a bit. Because think about it like this. Imagine if there is a selector available for $4.99, aren't the people that don't get it gonna be feeling a bit pissed off? Like, why can they all get a selector and I would have to pay for one? I don't know. Who knows? Spill height deck, please. Makes sense. So we have a 50% vote on Heidemarie, but there was a 25% vote on Yuki. That is hilarious. That's how it usually goes. Yuki has a lot of interested people. Sortie has no rewards, to be honest. At the end of the day, Sortie isn't necessarily all about you just playing it for just raw rewards and then be done with it. Sortie is meant for you to just play the game in a different way and to, close your ears, have fun. Yep, exactly. You're meant to have fun. But then outside of that, obviously, you can also get access to this to fully refine whatever decks you decide to do. And I guess if you wanted to, you could also start farming potential in here. But I think the main focus really are these 6 cores up here. Specifically this one. This one is really, really nice. The applies a random divine. Whenever you finish a run and you still have like save data space left open, this is exactly what you want to get. The ability to, after finishing a run, just smack 20 save data in and re-roll a divine on a card for as long as you want until you're happy. So, yeah, we were thinking doing something, right? Storage, craft. I wonder what do we should I think we now have good enough necklaces. It would be kind of a waste to craft something like this. I need to check our Heidemarie piece again. We already have crit chance, we already have extra damage, we already have attack. So this piece is going to be pretty hard to top. But I'd hate to like spend all these coins just to craft left side gear. I could make a void goblet, potentially. That could work. Ooh. Oh, who knows? So yeah. Do I just make another passion goblet? Yeah, sure, fuck it. Let's see what we get. Good start. No. Yeah, no. We're saving our luck, you know? We're saving our luck for something special here. So much for that. Yep. Interesting craft. I wish I had one of these like Men in Black things. I could just go bzzzt, and I would wipe your memory so you can forget that we ever got something like that. Because holy shit, that is a little embarrassing. Wait, how? How do I have 41? Where did I ever get an uneven number of traces of memory? Do you also have an uneven number of traces of memory? Like, am I the only one that has something that doesn't end on 0? Or is this normal and you can get like 5, 6 or something at some point? From dismantling partially upgraded gear? You could be correct. Season Shop would sell individually. That could also work. Sortie could give low values. Huh, okay. Interesting. So, ladies and gentlemen, we currently have 7. We have 7 of... No, 8. We have 8 time-limited modules. That's because due to daily reset, we have 2 more. So... my goal is obviously to always build a good Heidemarie. I'll be honest with you, for me, activating Graveyard Heidemarie is done, right? So unless through some weird coincidence we end up getting another shot at it that like happens to be better than this, sure, but for me personally, Graveyard Activation Heidemarie, I have the deck. So what I want to do now is one of 2 decks. Number 1 is going to be triple create. I want one of the creation ones combined with a plus 70 and a plus 50 upgrade. So one of these, one of this one, and one of this one. I don't know how hard that's gonna be, but that would be like one of the goals, so that we get plus 50, plus 70, and the ability to, based on the amount of link cards in hand, create more. That is what we want to get here. And I also want to make a full create deck. I also want to make a full create deck that is only 4 copies of this. Yeah. 4 copies of the create deck. And I think we're gonna then cut like a whole bunch of other cards. So this one's fine. This one can stay. Obviously. This one can stay. Hero to all can obviously also stay. Thread of Light probably gets cut. Yeah, Thread of Light gets cut, and Sword Rain, either the 2 version or maybe the retrieve version. I don't know. I guess the activate version could be fine as well as a one-off. So yeah, that'd be the creation one. Can I think of another Heidemarie deck I'd like to build? Yeah, or maybe we pick up this one for just for the fact that it's exhaust, so that we can like make the deck smaller. I don't know. Should I ever do 3 copies of a hero to all or just do 2? Hard to say. Like, the moment you go past 2 hero to all copies, she kind of goes from a DPS into something of a support role. But the question is, do you have a character that she can play support too? Right? Yeah, the coordination one I have. I have my activation ones here. And I have my follow-up Selena as well. So for that, I'm fine. I'm fine here. Though there is something missing for this deck. So I'll show you what we have, right? We have 0 cost draw 1, 1 cost draw 1. We have these upgrade cards. And then we have this card right here, draw 2. When discarded, and then a bit of like resonance, right? And then we have this one as well here for draw 1. And then for Heidemarie... For Heidemarie, we have a bit of draw 1 here. Then 2 of the normal ones. Draw 1 card of this unit, Thread of Light. With Effulgent Expansion and another Persona of Obsidian. So I need to build a Nia that fits this deck. What I want this Nia to do is to have the ability to discard and to have the ability to give me AP. AP so that they can actually play out all the cards. Like, it's great to have draw, but you still need to be able to play the cards. And then discard so that I can actually discard the Persona cards to save me the cost of having to pay for them to play them. So, yeah, we kind of still need like that third and missing piece for the combo, so we'd probably build a Nia. I think that character would be the most appropriate in terms of... Or we could build like a super AP generator Typhara or something. That could work as well. Right? Yeah, something like an AP Adagio, but not something like this. Something a lot more concise. Something smaller. And probably something that also doesn't have a Persona card. Just so we like... ensure that we actually draw what we need to draw entirely. I mean, how am I gonna get a precision aim on a Cassius? Right? If you can explain to me how I can get a precision aim on my Cassius, then sure, I'll agree. Yeah, we could potentially try to build an Eternal Hunger Nia. That is not incorrect. Eternal Hunger Nia could be really nasty. The only real question that I have is, would we ever run into a scenario where we like link too many cards? I don't know, but yeah, Adagio that draws itself plus an Eternal Hunger could be fun. Could be fun. I think that could be fun. But also, we don't need that much AP. Like, we need some AP, but I don't think we need that much. No, on Selena and Mary. My decks on Selena and Mary are already finished. I'm not building someone... I'm not building someone to fit them. I'm building someone to fit what I already have. I guess that's kind of like the distinction here. So we need to find the Season 1 planet. That would also be a little nostalgic, going back. Hey, here we go, Lab 0. But it's only tier 14, but I think we can work with that. Deactivate from Graveyard Heidemarie would only be played with Selena. No, you could play it with Selena and you could play it with Hugo. Those two are like the mega beneficiaries. But I will be honest with you, you can also play the deck on its own. Like, you can also play the Create in Graveyard, just activate in Graveyard on its own. Like, why they... basically, Selena and Hugo get better because Heidemarie exists. But Heidemarie doesn't really care that they exist. Like, she does her own thing, and they benefit. It's not like she really needs them, you know? You pinged me with a picture of one of the Heidemarie Dream decks. Alright, I'll have a look. I'll have a look and see if you were, embellishing your Dream deck. Doesn't work. Close, but doesn't work. So, what you've done here is you have this card twice. The 70% does not stack with this 70%. This 50 does stack with the 70 as far as I know, but you cannot stack these two, so almost. But this one is a bit of like a wasted place, I guess. That makes sense. Then again, it might be easier to draw it and it still creates blades. But no, all the epiphanies here at least are solid. And they do what they do, and the Cthulhu weapon is nice, but I see you don't have a single perk on your gear. How did that happen? How? Right? Like, how can you have the discard 2 with one discard perk, but you don't have a single persona perk? Okay. So let's get into a run and see how it goes. So let's spam the hell out of this. Oh shit, I better get it in 25. I'm out of season currency. There we go. Only took us like 8. Oh, okay. It took a little too long. Alright, food is checked. Yeah, should be fine. Let's make it happen. Fragment loadouts when? Yeah, they said they can't. Or they're working on it, but it's gonna take a while because it's a bit difficult. So, let's start with the remove 2. And I don't think we'll be building near this run, even though... Ooh. Okay, what do you think? Weren't you going to do lab 0? Lab 0 would have been for Nia. Lab 0 would have been for Nia. Yeah, I guess Eternal Hunger Nia. Okay, let's do one Heidemarie run and then let's do a Eternal Hunger Nia attempt. Hard to say if it actually goes well. Okay, another remove 2, but no. See, what I would always make sure is if you're playing these auto runs and whatnot, make sure you get the epiphanies on these characters as early as possible. Gives them a longer chance to like actually epiphany, gives you time to re-epiphany them. So if possible... Wait, what are we currently actually doing? Do I even want the persona card at all? Depends on the kind of deck we end up building, huh? Ah, persona card should be fine. Persona cards are cute. Okay, this is an interesting decision to make. Then again, this does have retain, so we wouldn't have to draw it again. So this could work. Card or decrease stress? I think we're gonna fight him. Because it still gives us the item and a chance to get an epiphany. And we still get the coin. So, I think that's kind of okay. What's going on with my phone? Why are we getting so many messages? Who knows? So, let's have a look. Skip. Sure. Did you ever try to run chaos with Hyde and Rita? I don't know if there'd be anything crazy happening between Heidemarie and Rita. I mean, you could play them together, but I feel like you might just run into a scenario where both of them kind of want the AP, while yes, Rita can work on her own. Rita's also kind of like a main DPS to some degree, I'd say. Hi to our Seasonal Chaos tonight. Yeah, we're currently in the Seasonal Chaos, but we will also take a quick peek and a quick trip back down to Memory Lane and play a run in Season 1 Chaos and see if it actually happens. Why is my game on crack? That's the speed run. That's the speed run of Chaoses. So whenever you beat a Chaos for the first time, you will have the ability to also speed run it with a new currency that has been introduced. So instead of starting it, there's this button that says free, right? Free, and it shows like the delegate. When you click on it, basically everything happens on auto. It gets simulated for you, and you only have to make the decisions. It could link the Rita card so you can play for 0. That's not quite how it works. You would discard the Rita cards for 0. But then what? Yeah, Mr. at question mark hashtag cash money. So, okay. I have a proposition. I have a proposition to you to make. Due to the fact that he has the really cool make this card a common card and draw another common card divine, and overall because he has such a funny name, would you have a problem if we, for us, in our community, just start labeling him cash? Because it's a lot shorter, but he also has value, you know? And his animation is also worth good money. So how about, in the meantime, until we get an official name, how about we just call him Cash? How about we just call him the Cash God? Yep. Just Cash God, whatever it ends up being. Cash money as well, sure. Like, putting the money behind it, that works as well. Cash money, something like that. How about Manotas? I don't know about that. I don't even know what that reference is, so maybe not. So the real question here is, do we want this divine linked to those cards? Draw 3, reduce cost. I don't know. Let's pick it up. Sure. It should be fine. I imagine that name is censoring a horrible swear word. Or he's just like a divine entity from a different realm, making it make sense, you know? A 9 on Heidemarie is all... 9 on Heidemarie? I thought I read Nia. 9 on Heidemarie is certainly an experience. I am not entirely too sure what the goal there could hypothetically be, but then again, if you put 2 top tier characters together in a team, you cannot really go wrong with it. The real question is, what do you... Another divine. What do you want to achieve, right? What do you want to achieve with this deck? So, I think we just do a multi-copy create 6 deck. Instead of like the super complicated one where... Also, initiation is a little sad, right? I think initiation on upgrade cards could be kind of fun, but initiation is similar to like exhaust. Not really, but it's like it's just a one-time effect. So I don't know. Just started yesterday, I'm in love with the game. Got Heidemarie after 60 and a partner first multi. Do I now again go for Heidemarie for 2 copies? Or there would be a update beginner guide from you soon. It's in planning. I don't know if I can do it tomorrow, but I'll try to have it finished by in 2 days. But I took a bit of a breather today. Only made 1 video and the stream here. So I'm just kind of taking it a bit more chill. So that we can go a bit harder tomorrow. Unless I decide to go swimming, then maybe I have a bit less time. We'll have to see. But yeah, goal here. Let's get 3 or 4 copies of the Create 6. That should be our goal. 3 or 4 copies of the Create 6. Ooh, double Umbra. Wonder how we could make use of that. Oh! No. It's only in hand. Maybe Chaos will tell us how we can make use of it. Oh, we could get another Cash Money Divine. But all her cards are already divined. You know what? Because how do we not have Adagio yet? Fuck. If we had Adagio... okay, then it gotta be with all my heart. That gets the Cash Money Divine. But this is equipped. Fixed damage. Okay, then let's do... This might just turn into a Diana run. Depending on how good this becomes. If this can become the treated as a common card version, that could be really sick. Or maybe Blooming Love? But I don't know if I'd end up copying that one 4 times. I mean, I got what I asked for, didn't I? Yeah, I plan on making an updated save data guide that also covers the new save data editing items. That's a thing for tomorrow. I want to cover once and for all, super simple, for you to understand how you can make decks and what actually costs what. And in the same video, we'll also be going over the new save data editing items, yes. You haven't used my selector yet, but I have every character but Veronica, but I can get an E6 Rin. It's always better to get a new character. Also, think about it like this. If you pick Rin now, you're gonna be sad the next time you pull Rin. Pull a Veronica now, you can still be excited that whenever you do decide, or whenever you do lose a 50-50 or there's another select in the future, you can still fail to a Rin and get that E6. Like the E6, the 2 Mirage decks are nice, but get the new character. Yeah, this with all my heart is a bit of a weird one. Okay. I've had an idea for a deck. The moment I saw Diana, like the moment we had Diana, it already was brewing. And now that we got Heidemarie, I have a deck in mind. And that deck is very interesting. I'm just wondering if I should already put you on the source or if I should keep it secret for now. It is very outrageous and there's no guarantee that it actually works. But I have a plan, you know? I have an idea. How does treated as a common card work? Okay, so every card you add from the outside in, every card that's not part of a normal character's kit, so persona cards, other cards, monster cards, all that stuff, that is a common card. Which means this card now also becomes a common card, so it can draw a common card. But if you do not have any other common cards in your deck, this will always draw its own copy. Right? Give it to us. Bullet Kron. So, here's the vision. Here's the vision. Kron creates a whole bunch of futilities. Then we turn these futilities into bullets. Then we apply quietus to the bullets, also with Diana. And the final step is we use Hero to All to apply Link to all the bullets. And then we build the new discard set on Kron for the crit rate. and extra attack damage substat. Because, let me tell you something interesting. When a Diana changes a character's card into Heartbreakers, they don't become her own Heartbreakers. No, no, no. They stay with the character whose cards she converted. So with the help of Diana, we can convert Kron into shooting Heartbreakers. And that's the mission. And you know what's also interesting? If we use Hero to All, technically we wouldn't even have to give Quietus to them, because they would all be linked already as well. So we could technically get around that. Maybe the magical girl Kron was real? Do you think dupes are super broken, not needed, but broken? Dupes? Some dupes can be really good, but not a single dupe in the entire game is actually needed. But yeah. We have something else to do, and that is we have a run to win. But yeah, that is something we will visit at some point during this season. I will make it happen. I will gear Kron. He will become an extra damage dealer. And he will like it. Regardless of if he wants it or not, he will like it. When the lead card of this unit is discarded, activated. This is really cool for like a Magna. This is really cool for a Magna. Because this allows you to turn Magna into a discard unit. At least a little bit. Okay, we could spark another epiphany. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? That's just wasted coin. I mean, oh well, who knows? Maybe I just go with the stock standard one actually, instead of the weird retain thing. How does everything move so fast? We are playing speedrun chaos. There's a new currency, and whenever you go into a chaos, there's two buttons. You press the left one instead of the right one on entering. We're playing speedrun chaos. Ooh, we have the double discard. So I can actually... See, a lot of you doubted me a bit with the video today. So I guess now I can actually prove it myself. Because I have the double discard card here. But yeah, alright. Good stuff. Let's quit. Now that we have double discard, we're basically done. How often does Reason reset in Sortie? I think it's probably weekly. Going to be similar to what we have from... So, okay, the way you have to think of this is... Effectively, you're gaining 180 stamina worths of currency. Ooh, damage of quiet is but it doesn't really do anything. What about this? This could be fun. Maybe. It's kind of pointless, but it's kind of fun. We're gonna pick it up. So, think of it like this. You're getting 180 stamina worth of Sortie point gain at the end of every week. Or I guess at the beginning of every week. Where a scenario is true. 1. Edit the deck after restore. Wait, what the fuck? Can you fit 4 copy 3 divine persona builds? The game set is that on the last shop you have a 2 replicated divine, 3 total. Perfect persona for your build. You remove 1 divine, then copy for last boss. What scenario would be the true one? You could edit the deck after and restore the removed card without question mark. Divine question mark. Or 2 remanifest 1 divine to common EP, then restore removed divine. No. You cannot cheat the system. You are still under the same save data limitations. So you can't just go out and remove a card and then add it in back after and expect a different result. So if you want to keep a persona in with 4 divines, you will also have to keep in a basic. Heidemarie with Diana is peak. I have a million ideas of what to make happen, but there's only so much time in the day. Manual is still better, but auto chaos is 1 gazillion% the fastest way to build a deck. 1 gazillion% the fastest, and I guess it also... It I guess as well depends on the amount, right? Like, doing 1 run versus using 15 tickets... Obviously, there's a higher chance you end up with a better deck doing 15 tickets, but you also spend 15 tickets, right? Hope that makes sense. You wanted the Diana for Heidi, but you're loving Renoa so much? Hey, Renoa still, huh? Peak. Oh, it's a new event. Broken Idol. We haven't encountered that one yet. Let's go in. Obtain engraving hymn singing lips. When acquired, this card is discarded for an ability by allies. Draw 1 per 1 to... Holy shit, yeah. Say less. Big fan. Like it. That's really nice. That actually fits our deck on top as well. Okay. So, we are only on day 3 of the season, I know. But we're going to cheat a bit. This event feels really important to what you can make happen in a run. Not only because it's a rare event and such. So we're going to have a look at the different outcomes. And what we can achieve. So, my goal is us having a look at the end here. Trigger epiphanies to random cards, to selected cards, increase credits by 300, recover health and obtain... What about this? Would you look at this shit? A random mythic equipment? Hell yeah! So we do 3/3, right? Feel Tranquil Extinction into a Sculpture Crumpling Brilliantly is a mythic piece of equipment. Let's see if that's true. 3. We found a missing piece of equipment. That's pretty good. But I guess in this case, we got the Dice of Discord. I wonder if this could be anything or if it's always this one. I wonder. So let's have a look at what this actually does, right? It does 40% times 2 to 6 fixed damage to enemies, but it also triggers fixed damage to us. Right? Is this how this thing even works? I don't even know what this does. When a card is discarded, resonance to all enemies. Is that better than the dice? I mean, we haven't encountered Cthulhu yet, so I guess we take the 80 credits. But I think it was worth the gamble. Okay, we need to remove a card, and that is Thread of Light. Gojo Seal Prison? Probably not. Should I use my selector on E19, E2 Rita, or E2 Typhera? Either E2 Typhera or E2 Rita would be the most transformative, so go based on who you think you're gonna end up playing more in the future. So technically the support obviously has a lead, but I'm not gonna tell you not to go with Rita if you feel like going with Rita. How do you see the option? Alright. Like, keep in mind though, whenever you do this, it ruins the fun of experimenting on your own as well. But there's this website right here called Wiki E7 Bot. I think you can actually just search it on Google, E7 Bot. And there you go, right? Like, just search for E7 Bot and you find this website here. And then you have this one. It's called the Encounters. Right? It's the Encounters tab. And in the Encounters tab, you have all planets available in the game. And doing all these planets, you can check every single encounter possible. And by clicking on it, you can also see what happens when you pick what. But yeah. Let's have a look. Skip this one. Go with this one. Skip this one. There we go. Oh, the cube! We should have picked the fucking credits. If we did, we would have been able to afford the cube by now. Well... shit happens. I think we already have this one on Extra Attack 1 Morale. No, it's a different one. But do I risk losing the weapon? How close are we to the end of this run? There's 4 more fights that could be Cthulhu. And there's 1 more shop. Ah, winners win. But do I actually extra attack with this deck? Maybe a little bit with the Effulgent Blades, but not that much. I'm just gonna sell it. It's going to be fine. Can you tell me why the hell my Persona card has a grayed out enchantment even though I have 5 engravings on her? Let's have a look. I think it's just a visual bug. That's like the easiest thing. But, yeah. Yeah, I think I encountered that before as well. But I'm pretty sure it's just a visual bug. I think it's just a visual bug. Fuck. I hate Imgur now. Like, they didn't used to do this shit before. This is so fucking annoying. Nah, I'm not registering Imgo, no, fuck that. Oh well. Don't I have it on the armor? Nothing stops us from having it twice, right? Yeah, no, it works. I mean, you know what the easiest way to do it is? Just go into a fight and test it out and see if the effect triggers. Right? Just go into a fight and see if the effect triggers. Would a faceless woman on Hyde be a good idea, or should that be thrown on a Nia? It doesn't matter. It only needs to be on one of your 3 characters that you're using. It doesn't really make a difference, but Heidemarie is a good bet if you do have the save data to spare. Alright. Give me some cash, which could help with buying the next dimensional cube if we're lucky. This is a Cthulhu stage, right? No? Fuck. Copy? We missed the copy event. Yeah, okay, so one of the things that's important to note here during auto runs, you cannot do your own pathing, meaning statistically speaking, you're less likely. You are less likely to encounter a copy event because the game chooses the path for you and not the one that has the most amount of question marks, right? Yo, could I please explain Sortie? You didn't play CZN recently. Would you only be able to get the currency by spending stamina? So every week you get 3 stacks of reason. You can treat those reasons in every time you beat a boss. That gives you a massive amount of currency. You can get an infinite amount of currency by just playing. So while you do spend currency to play, if you win the run, you get the stamina back. Right? So if you know what you're capable of, or if you're playing at a difficulty you can beat, you always get your stamina back when you finish a run, and you can even get more back than you invested, but I wouldn't really count on that, right? So the fastest way to get more is indeed to go in, always win, and make sure that you spend 60 stamina after every boss, similar to how you can farm during a chaos run. Because that just gives you a huge chunk of currency. But you can also just normally play it in the loop and still get currency. New to the stream, is the auto chaos bad? No, auto chaos is awesome. Auto chaos is awesome to build, just overall build decks. Like, you get a character, you want to play the character, build an auto chaos, and it gets you into the action straight away. Right? That is what auto chaos is for. But it all depends on the volume. Oh, this is annoying. Imagine we got this before. But it all depends on the volume. How often or how many tickets do you have available to build what deck? The more tickets you have, the more likely you get to get like a perfect deck from auto. But auto is by no means completely perfect. Right? It's decided by everybody, not just your previous runs. Stamina suggestion use? My main stamina is still spent on gear farming currently with the new set that came out. And obviously it's spent on pre-farming potentials and level up materials for a character. That's where the majority of your stamina goes in. After you finish pre-farming for a character and you have like your potentials upgraded and all that cool stuff, and you have the units leveled you want to play, after that you can start thinking to try to potentially get fancy with it. Ooh, 10% crit chance on the 0 cost nuke. 10% crit chance on the 0 cost nuke. How are we feeling about that? Because technically the entire purpose of this build is to just use the 0 cost nuke to obviously do 0 cost nuke stuff. So... The auto chaos currency refresh every day. You get 1 currency per day. If you have the 4.99 pass, you get 2 a day. Right? When I pick the discard qualities from deck Persona for Nia, the reason why we're not picking up any Persona cards right now, if you only have 1 Persona, so okay, think of it like this. There is a whole row of Persona perks that are available, but there is some Persona perks that are only limited to attack or skill cards or limited to a character's class. So by only picking 1 Persona card, your odds are higher of encountering the perks you're looking for. Right? Like for example, if I were to pick up a Nia Persona, I could potentially get a Nia Persona engraving that would be exclusive to controllers, that would be useless for the Persona I'm building. So it's just stacking the odds in our favor, if you will. Dimensional Cube, easy W. Not that it's really gonna do that much, but nice. Mask of Emotions, also better than what we currently have. So it looks like we're ending it with a 3-card deck. But while by no means that is perfect, that is still a good deck. So let's get our copy choice, get it duplicated, and yeah, we have our, final chance to pick up the crit chance. Nah, let's don't do it. Okay, so it took us 1 run, and no, we didn't get the perfect deck, but we got a really good Diana deck, really good Heidemarie deck. We went in with the plan. It took us all of 10 minutes, right? It took us all of 10 minutes, and would you look at what we have? Is it something where you're like, oh wow, he has so many divines, this deck is nuts? No. But we have a Sword Rain that allows us to create some Effulgent Blades. We have Hero to All at 0 cost, which is a sweet divine, which just allows us to obviously get the draw and apply the link. We don't really care about the link because all of the cards are linked already anyway, so it's effectively just free draw. We have the Discard 2, which should trigger twice when actually discarded, which is kind of nice. And then we have the Create 6 times 3. So every single turn, if everything goes well, every single turn we're adding 18 Effulgent Blades into the discard pile, so that with every single turn our Effulgent release gets 1800% increased damage. The game deserves a lot more traction in players. It would, but it's really also up to the devs and marketing and all that stuff. But you know what the beautiful thing here is? I think in comparison to a lot of other games, it doesn't really make a difference when you start. Right? Like, at the end of the day, regardless of when you start, you're only ever going to have more available to you. Like, the tower mode, whatever season might be happening, more characters to fail to on 50-50 or to just get from the standard banner, more combos, more cards, more gear sets, like, more everything. Could I rate your Discord deck? I haven't even run the tower yet. Heidemarie strats, let's have a look. Okay, we have 0 cost activate 5 times 3. Draw 1, apply link to the Quietus cards in hand. These don't have Quietus. 80% damage to cards in the graveyard. And a Create 6. Looks clean. Looks really clean. Also the extra attack weapon, because the activate 5s are used as an extra attack. Nice. Nice. Really cheap. Nice and simple. Hero to All is a bit of a weird one though, because it only ever really ends up replacing itself. But sure, I mean, applying link to Quietus cards, why not? Why not? About the suggestion, stamina, this game is very different and very peak, and that only half anniversary had many strategic and can't imagine this game's first anniversary. Yep. And you know what's interesting? I think the current timeline, right? We have two major things on the timeline. I know it feels a bit weird talking about it now already, but there's two huge things still coming to Chaos Hero Nightmare that are already confirmed, right? Depending on if you care about it or not, we already have a date, and that is July 8th is going to be when they're going to be releasing Chaos Hero Nightmare Story 1.0, where they're going to redo the entire story from a different perspective, or like in a different way, and you can play through it once more, and they've like worked on it for months, so on and so forth. But basically they're redoing the story. That's July 8th, we have a date. But what I really want to talk about is multiplayer mode, right? Multiplayer mode is something they're working on, something we'll get at some point. Could be a month from now, which is unlikely. Could be 3 months from now, which I could see happen. Or it could be around the anniversary in October, which seems like a good idea to put your money on. So we will see a multiplayer mode. That thing is gonna be peak. That thing is gonna be peak. And yes, a good reminder, standard wishlist maybe. Wishlist, I asked it during the last dev interview. I asked the devs about a wishlist, and they said yes, they are working on it, and there will be a wishlist at some point. When? Hard to say, but there will be. And then, obviously, something that gets you really excited, and that is gonna be the collab. We don't know with what, we don't know when, but we know it's happening. We don't know with what, we don't even know when, but we know it's happening. There needs to be a purpose to having a friends list. Oh yeah, there was a plan. So there was a feature that they talked about that they haven't introduced yet. And that was the ability for you to use somebody else's deck during your simulation runs. So that is what they talked about. The ability to borrow decks from friends to use during simulation. Alright, so what do we do? We built a Heidemarie, didn't we? So Heidemarie deck, where's the new one? Was it like 67? Is it this one? Yeah. Okay. Let's just give it a brief peek, right? Let's just give it a brief peek. Have a look at what it does and be happy. Alright. So I still don't know what to do with this persona card for now, but it's gonna be fine. Let's make sure we obviously draw everything. Hey! Okay, this is a problem. The enemy doesn't die. Or better said, the enemy does die, but too fast. Look. The enemy dies here, which causes our discarded effulgent expansions to never trigger. So we also never stack effulgent release. So we're basically getting cucked by the fact that the enemies die too fast. The enemies die too fast, there's no chance for us to test it out. Luckily for the game, I'm willing to turn a blind eye. Because in exchange, the game is going to provide me with a top tier piece of gear. Right? So it really isn't that bad. We're gonna go in here. We're gonna have some fun. and we're gonna get some top tier gear. Alright, so let's use Hero to All to draw the entirety of our deck. Then make sure we put the rest into our deck. And that is one turn. We now have 18 blades in our graveyard. No, we actually have 20. Oh yeah, these create 18, this creates 2. So yeah, we have 20 in our graveyard. So now, Effulgent Release. 2600% already. 3332% with the help of type effectiveness. But obviously, we can create 18 more. And now, we're doing 5900% damage. Turn 2. Every turn. 12,000 damage, no crit. Nice and simple. Unfortunately, we didn't really seem to be getting the peak gear I was promised. Big scam. Big scam. The new Chaos Epiphany raid sucks. Use events. Use events to get the epiphanies. Like, there is 2 to 3 events in the beginning of a Chaos run that allow you to epiphany your cards. And if you epiphany your cards earlier, that gives them more time to epiphany during the run. So yeah, make use of these events. Like, it's not like any of the other rewards during those events are that worth it. Okay, so let's do a hypothetical Forbidden Hunger Nia run. The odds of this being a Forbidden Hunger Nia run are extremely tiny. But I like my chances. Let's have a look. Give me some credits. Your E20 own is still the best. Understandable. Okay, select and remove. Would it still be possible to do a no-card deck right now? Technically it's easier than ever, but you'd have to use removal cubes. So the grand idea here is, let me explain how a zero-card deck works at its core. A character starts into a Chaos run with 5 cards, right? You're only able to remove 5. So the only 2 ways to make it happen are either going in with a character with 5 cards, so if they have their first potential, and then getting to the waypoint without an epiphany, or you go in with a character that doesn't have its first potential, and that makes it so that they only start with 4 cards. So that you have like 1 extra life of getting an epiphany, while you still then have the ability to remove it all. But yeah, I could say it 1,000 times. Oh, why did I spend that much money here? Oh well, 0-card decks aren't that great. Low-card decks are the way to go if you want like the same thing but actually better. Yeah, the third option at start can remove 2, so you only need to remove 3 by the time you get to the waypoint, for example. Okay, we found the nice adagio. Wait, are we even on the path to the tunnel? Yes, we are. Okay. Whew. Oh, but that also means, aren't we forced into doing the interior tunnel as well? Because the game picks our path for us? Oh well. Oh well. You could also have them permanently in Mind Break. Yeah, but trying to create that scenario at the beginning of a run is also on the bit harder side. Especially while you try not to die while doing so, you know? Oh, we already have all Nia epiphanies. But yeah, look at this. This Heidemarie now couldn't become a 0 deck because she already has 6 cards. But if we left by the time we arrived at the waypoint, which was all the way back here. Okay, it's actually not that far away. But back here the question was, did she still have 5 cards by the time we arrived there, yes or no? Okay, for a Nia deck, yeah, maybe we just get rid of Mute Accent, yeah. Also to make our copy choices easier. So we already need to re-epiphany? We don't have... Okay, we would have the ability to make it a divine adagio. I mean, you know what? Maybe it happens. Okay, so we stay with what we have. Could you use Nia Eternal Hunger in the current season? Yeah. At least, for example, you could use it for tower. You could use it for the triple boss fight. Well, well, well. Would you look at that? I don't know if you see what I see, but I see what we see. Yes, you can use it in Great Rift. They've lifted the seasonal restrictions for Great Rift. You can use it in the triple boss fight. You can use it in the tower. The only place where you cannot use it is Nebula Distortion. You know this like new X-boss fight guy? Only in the 3 boss fights. This is the only piece of content where you cannot use a deck like that. Yeah, been a while since you saw that one, right? Oh! Yeah. Let's do hidden boss. Let's do the hidden boss actually. Okay, we get a divine. I would kindly ask for help regarding the battle pass. You got Nyx 2 times at 60. I mostly didn't pull on premium partners except the limiteds, using 3 to 4 stars mostly. Have all the units and also recently built. Which partner except Nyx got a good value? Serathea. Serathea would be a hunter partner. I don't think you're gonna find a good striker partner in the battle pass, really. I don't think you're gonna find a good striker partner in the battle pass. If you're looking for a Veronica partner, I think Solaya is good. Like, if you're looking specifically for a partner for any of these 3, I would pick up Solaya. But I wouldn't pick up the striker partner from the battle pass, really. Give me the upgrade card. Perfect. I've sent you a ping in the Discord. Heidemarie stressed, I'm not sure which card to upgrade. Hee. Okay, I'm not sure what to do. Should I change Sword Rain to activate 5 or change the Effulgent that generates 6 cards to the Create 2 plus 70? For the current deck that you're building, like for the style that you're going for, and that is the Graveyard Linked damage bonus plus Effulgent Blade creation, you would be best off changing Effulgent Expansion into its Create to 70% version. For the current deck you're building. Would I say that would be something you should be hunting for, and would that make it worth investing the resource into making that deck happen? I don't know. But I will admit, this is looking pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I like it. You have Heidemarie here, Diana here, and Sweeping Nears. That is really cool. That looks really nice. You have 2 accounts. One with E2 Serenia and E0 Heidemarie. Is it worth keeping? I did get E2 Heidemarie in the new account plus 9 Anti-Ferra. Serenial is a limited. We do not know when she comes back. And keep in mind, whenever she does come back, you will want to summon for her. And you already have her Serenia at 2 copies. Like, I would probably rather take Serenial at 2 and an E0 Heidemarie than an E2 Heidemarie and miss a Serenial. You made it with love for the best team ever. Alright. It's okay for Diana because Mary can give Link to Diana bullets, and the plus 80 would then work for them, but it's a bit mid. I don't know if you can call decks mid really, right? It all depends on what kind of content do you need to beat and what are your expectations. As I always say, it isn't about how you get there. It's about the end result. Right? Like, just because a deck might not be super meta doesn't mean it can't be the piece of content. And if you beat what you wanted to beat, then you have succeeded, regardless of what it took you to get there. No. Alright. E for Heidemarie or E6 Serenia? You mean where to use your Omega code? I think E4 Heidemarie is a bit more impactful to Heidemarie than E6 Serenial is to Serenial. Okay, let me copy the Adagio, please. Thank you. Hello, Eternal Hunger, my old friend. How are you? Hence great with being a mistake? I wouldn't say it's a mistake. It depends on where do your priorities lie. Like, for some people, they need rankings. They need this, like, this push towards working towards something great and this competitive spirit. Others don't need that, right? Like, if you don't care about it, then don't care about it, right? Get it done, get the extra rewards and dip. It is not a demerit to you that the rankings exist. You don't have to play the rankings. The only thing you get is a sticker set. You still get the same amount of currency, the same amount of fashion points, the same amount of basically everything. I'm feeling kind of funky. Should we cut G-Cord? Maybe we will. Come on. There we go. Did I finish full scale offensive? 2 out of 3 fights. I still need to do the third one. but I'm currently on 6 out of 9 stars. You like that there's a reason for the discard 3? Wait, let me check something real quick. If we go in here now, we come out at some point later, right? I don't think I stand to gain enough, so I guess we're just gonna pass it by. I guess that's a bit of a slighter issue with the auto, that the pathing puts you into something which you might not usually pick manually. That was a complicated sentence. Also, where did Nia manage to hide those things from a L2 to what the hell? Nia is very resourceful. She knows how to get things done. Yeah. Ooh. There is some interesting neutral cards here as well. Because we do have the save data space to add them in. So, for example, the bird one. The bird upgrade one would be kind of nice. But it's more important that we actually find the Dogmaster. Bye-bye. It's more important that we find the copy event right here. There is not the copy event. Luckily, the copy event is actually just shy and hiding a little bit. The copy event is actually, in fact, behind the next market. Like, for those of you that didn't know, it is common knowledge. It is common knowledge that you will find it there. Yeah. But the double shop is actually really cool. The double shop is actually really nice. Do I want to remeditate? No. Copy event! Yes! Yes! Nice! Good shit. We like to see it. We like to see it. Okay, how much save data space do we have? 80 out of 170. Cut one more card, go to 100. Duplicate one more card, go to 140. It just works. It just works. Poof. So we'd be 140. We could fit one more neutral card. Yeah. Maybe we can find the bird neutral. And reorganize. I don't need that much draw. Said no forbidden algorithm greed. At the end of the day, it might just end up fucking my copy choices, and then what, you know? And then what? Oh yeah! Oh shit, we're not done yet! We're not done yet! We have the hidden boss! We can still get it! I forgot that was a thing! No? No? Okay, okay. I mean, we did make our selection to get it, so... Regenerative ribcage is kinda interesting. A lot of max HP. You know what? Maybe I actually go with 12% max HP. Why not? Oh, rally? Sure, I mean this rally could trigger some interesting season perks. And it is 0 cost draw 1, so it kinda does nothing. This could work. No, wait, fuck, no, okay, I don't think it's too much of a problem. I actually don't think it's too much of a problem. And that is because even if this card ends up being banned, it's just gonna get removed from the deck, not invalidate the entire deck. So I think we're fine. I think we're fine. I guess doing the same thing Nia does, but also give you morale stacks or like a damage boost. That'd be the only thing I could think of. My best Nia deck ever. That's what the game says. It said it's the best. It said it's the best. Quit before doing Haku? I don't really intend to go back to the Season 1 planet anytime soon. And if I do, I'd probably do it on tier 15. Must be the best then. It said it's the best. Can't argue with that. Yeah, we might just beat these in a row at some point. Just to see if we can get a tier 15 after like beating enough of them. But yeah. See, this is the type of deck. What we just built is the type of deck for what auto runs are the best. Decks that do not rely on a specific divine. If you want to be successful at being free, at building free decks, do not go in with the expectation of hunting a specific divine. Because every time you fail to get it, it's going to cost you another ticket. Something like this, where you just need an epiphany and you have a plan, can absolutely... I mean, it took us 15 minutes to make this deck. How did we get lap 0? You can disable. You can disable the season marker in Zero System. So if you go into Chaos and you go into the Zero System and you re-roll a planet and you deactivate this one, then you can play Season 1 and Season 2. Would a play from the graveyard Heidemarie deck need specific divines? I don't think it needs it, but they are helpful. So for example, in my current save data, for it, you see we do have 2 divines. Whenever we find it. We do have 2 divines. We have a draw 1. And we have a draw 1 of this unit. Does it need to be there? No. Does it make our journey a lot smoother by giving us more draw, meaning we need less draw on her teammates? Yes. Won't work for the season exclusive boss fights. There's only a single piece of content available in the game where this deck doesn't work. Single piece of content in the game. And that is this right here. This is the only piece of content in the game where the season save data doesn't work. This. Only piece of content. That's it. Okay. What do you think? Should we play tower? We built 2 decks. Should we now just try to play the from graveyard deck and just see if the Nia does what we want her to do? I think that would be a good good testing environment to see how far this can take us. Because if it's not enough, we'll at least know what was missing, right? We'll at least be able to see, oh, maybe we didn't have enough draw, maybe we didn't have enough AP, maybe the sun was shining on us in a weird way, right? Like, at least we'll know why and what we can change to make it work. Okay. Ugh. Did I pick up the wrong adagio? Accidentally? No, right? I think this still ends up working. Was there a better adagio? Yeah, no. I'm just wondering. Out of all the adagios that are available, which adagio is the one I need? You know what I mean? Draw 2, discard 2? I mean, that's the same thing here, so that wouldn't be the thing. So I think we might still have the right one. Just a bit more complicated, I guess. If I have create 2 cards, apply quietus on a card, does it apply in that order? Yes, it first creates the cards and then it applies quietus on everything. God damn it. Okay, and we've drawn our entire... No. Ah, it's the wrong Selena deck. You're right. I was wondering why we weren't drawing any Selena cards. You know, I think I like that. I think I like the option to discard something else, because keep in mind we have a persona that wants to be discarded on both. We have a persona that wants to be discarded on both Selena and on Heidemarie. And we can always, or not always, but we can quite reliably just discard Effulgent Compression if we need something discarded. So I guess this works out. My gosh, I can't reset a turn because I get an error about a card not being available. Ah, that's annoying. Yeah, I think we have enough of a card amount that we would be fine with just discarding. But okay, it just makes our job a little more complicated. But okay, this is a good benchmark, I guess. This is a good benchmark, so okay, people, should we rush? Okay, give me a stage. To which stage should I rush auto complete? Like, just use the deck that works on auto super quickly. and just does maximum DPS until we actually play the proper deck. Because ain't no way we're about to like go stage 5, stage 10, stage 15 if the enemies aren't even tanky enough to take like a single hit. What would you say? To which stage should we go until we start taking things seriously? 67. 100. I don't know. I feel like 100 is a bit of a special one. I at least want to do 100. Reach enemy level 100. I think that should happen a lot faster. 120. I would say like 90. I'd say like 90 because I kind of want to do 100 myself and see, because 100 is like the last stage, like get an achievement with, right? Yeah, like 90 or like 95, I think maybe be the best. But okay, I want to check Nia again real quick to see if there's a better card to use here. Draw 2, discard 2 would just be, I guess, the same thing, but not quite, because it would move them to the top of the draw pile. So this would be preferable over draw 2, discard 2. Discard 1, draw 2 would be a bit weird because it loses the effect. Yeah, I think this is the best choice. Or neutral Adagio with a like base Adagio with a neutral Epiphany. Yeah, maybe that would be a bit faster. But okay. I know we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of the lovely lady, if you know who I mean. I think we might just give another unit a bit of a show. Or maybe not. Maybe it's time to whip out the secret weapon. Yukuki. Yeah, maybe it's time to whip out the secret weapon. Yukuki-kus the third. Let's go, Yukuki-kus! Show us what you can do! Look, I wonder what Auto actually ends up doing. And I think we might just have to swap to a different deck, because there's definitely a better one we have available. I don't like the Trickery Strike being 1 cost. I was actually thinking of using a ticket on Yuki. Why not? It's nice and quick, and even if it doesn't end up the way you want it to, you don't lose anything. Auto Cassis makes you go bolt in real time? It does. But wow. So inspirational. Should we E2 our Yuki real quick? Should we E2 our Yuki real quick? So that for the first 3 turns at least, all the cards get their proper effects. Because if we're playing her with a 0 card deck, she has all her Epiphany things. Do we quality of Yuki? That's the real question. Do we quality of Yuki? Because this obviously doesn't really work as a, like the 0/0 cost thing. Because obviously all her cards are like already getting drawn turn 1. What would be a good team to Haru? You're on a 3-day-old account. Okay. I'm gonna just assume that you don't have a lot of 5 stars, so we're gonna recommend you 2 4-star characters to pair with Haru. So, to pair with Haru, you want to do Haru and Mika as the base. Let's see if we can find is save data that has more cards. Because the more cards the save data has, the more cards it can draw. Right? Logic of the mind. The more cards it has, the more it can draw. And the more it can draw, the more it can draw something good as well, somehow. Like, for example, like this. But this deck is horrendous. It has all 3 basics in it still. Keep in mind, some of these decks have been built before we even knew how save data worked to begin with, right? Like, there is some decks in here that have been built before the save data rules even became public. So you have to let it be, you know? Oh shit. Some of these decks, I don't know, nothing looks like super promising, I think. That's gonna be fine. You completed your first sortie. Hey, congratulations! You're supposed to pick in the Discord with a question. Alright, I mean, we're running it on auto anyway. See, you didn't ping me in it, so I can't find your question. Did you post it in general chat, flex chat? Hey, I'm assuming help chat? Okay, I'm assuming you're this. Okay. Your question, if I dupe repose, would this break? Yes. If you were to hypothetically dupe repose, it would indeed break. Because the repose itself would be a divine. So you would go up to 190 save data. Also, I wouldn't recommend using, like, the dupe one is super valuable. The dupe one is super valuable. That one is like the rarest you can get. So I wouldn't use that lightly. What you should do instead, I think, is just try and build another Veronica with the auto attempts. You can absolutely get another divine repose deck. Could I explain Sortie? I mean, how much is there to explain about Sortie, right? That would, I guess, be the big question. How much is there to explain about Sortie? Ooh, it's working. The deck is working. It's ass off to beat the boss, but it is working. So, Sortie is pretty much just, your entire purpose during a Sortie run is to win. And that is because to enter Sortie it costs stamina, but you get the stamina back when you beat it. When you beat Sortie, you get your stamina back, so your entire purpose is to play to win. The reason why you want to play the mode... Oh! Oh, that card! That card solves all our auto problems currently, look! Enable inspiration for all cards of this unit in hand. This sentence here is actually really clutch right now for us having only Yuki cards. Because even though we do all draw them in the beginning, they still all become inspired. And we get the follow-up on inspiration, which is also really cool. This is a buff all the way back from Season 2. But this card is really good on Yuki. Really good. The Yuki AI actually playing properly? I don't know. It's doing what it does best, I guess. The monthly $4.99 one worth? how much time do you have in a day? And how much value would you get from being able to do an additional chaos run that is sped up every single day? That is kind of what you gotta ask yourself. How much value would you personally get? Because that is the most important thing from this from the $4.99 monthly thing. The most important one is the get another attempt every day, right? How do you get dimensional tunnels to appear? Dimensional tunnels only appear on Season 1 and Season 2 Chaos. So if you want them to appear, play Season 1 or Season 2 Chaos. You mean a chance to build a deck every day? Sounds like a good option. Exactly. Keep in mind, you still get the extra entries and whatnot from events and such, but you will just get an extra free attempt every day. 9 to 5 worker here, I get it. Alright. And you get some nice bonuses. You can now do an extra expedition. You can do an extra expedition every time. Oh. Maybe we lose. We probably don't lose. You can do an extra expedition in the Ark City. You get more currency from Sortie. I think you get a bit more currency for like Zero System as well. I think overall it's quite nice. Yeah, some of this like turn order is a little weird. Would a Sword Rain activate 5 from the graveyard activate the Faceless Woman card? Haven't tested it, I don't know. I think in the season you can do double discard 2 for the 240% and just throw non-inspired cards and draw them back with double 2 draws from other characters. Lol, you could. The AI can be stupid sometimes, it can, but that's part of it. Like, you're not playing yourself, expect the chance that there's things not going the way you would do them personally. Other than potential / ego level, are the gear sets active in Sortie? No. No. Gear sets have no influence on Sortie because you would have to gear every single character to be usable during Sortie. Yeah, there is a website that has the new Chaos events. I don't know if you want to take the fun away from you, but I'll post the website link. Use it as your own discretion if you feel like it. But also, well, keep in mind you won't be able to just experience it for yourself. But there you go. There you go. Yeah, Yuki is certainly doing something. I think speed up chaos should be unlimited. No. There's still a purpose to playing chaos normally. Like, for example, when you run out of tickets. But also, for example, divine farming is nothing to be done with auto tickets, really. Because what you do is you go in. I mean, I guess if divine tickets were infinite, you could just brute force it. But the odds of you getting something successful would be super tiny. Like, if you want to farm a particular divine on a character, you go in, you find yourself a divine event, right? Like a divine application event. You select the card, you get it or you don't, then you leave until you get it before the first boss, and then you're done, right? Exactly, because of the pathing, there's also a chance you don't hit the copy event. Right, like you're not guaranteed. I don't know what the odds are, but it might just be something closer to 50-50 with the copy event. Character copies do affect Sortie, yes. Asi Farman 6475. I played Sortie, but I don't understand what I'm chasing there. Anything important? You're chasing currency. You want to beat the first boss, the second boss, or the third boss, and then you use this reason currency to get a massive amount of currency and character experience and Sortie skill tree experience. And what you then want to do is when you run out of reason, out of the blue brain currency, you can use 60 stamina as a replacement for it, so that you can then farm the Sortie currency, and with the Sortie currency buy the items from the shop to take a, oh, that's really good save data, into a, oh shit, that's the perfect save data. Yeah, the free chaos is proof of concept. Like, for example, the speed up chaos is the best thing ever if you just want to build a character or play around with the character or have fun, because it's quick and you get instant access to a deck. But if you want to build a super specific deck, especially a divine deck, then it isn't quite up to the task, right? Would Sortie be the best way to farm potentials? No. Maybe if you can guarantee a 100% win rate on one of the highest difficulties with all the like currency multipliers, but what you're effectively competing with is 3 potential runs worth of crystals versus the versus just spending 60 stamina on one reason. I don't think the math actually maths on that one. So what is the deck that we are currently looking for, and have I tried Kron and Rin? Both are E3. Kron and Rin are both amazing this season, right? Kron and Rin are now better than ever, and if you haven't invested a lot of time into them before, now they're even more worth your time. Yeah, Sortie is more efficient. See, what I thought about was, isn't it like close to 18 currency? Isn't it like close to 18 currency for 3 runs? Like, don't you get like 6 per 20? No, wait, fuck. That was on 100 runs. Forget what I said. Yeah, if you can guarantee getting to the first boss on high difficulty so that you can buy reason for 60, you absolutely get more potential, I think. Yeah. Thoughts on the 2-hit trickery strike? Really good, but you do need extra AP to afford it, right? Yeah, we played Sortie on the hardest difficulty. Like, obviously, Rin is tickling people on hardest difficulty Sortie without any gear effects. Right? Like, you're playing Sortie, you're not playing perfected chaos runs. Love the counter trigger, go for E2 Serenity and then E2 Heidemarie, go for E4 Heidemarie. I'm able to do one or the other. Ooh. I think across the board, and especially looking into the future, you get more value from doing E2 on both. But it really depends on if you value both equally. I don't know. I don't think there's a wrong decision there, to be honest. Even on tier 4, first boss is even, after it is more efficient. Have you calculated the conversion ratio from blue gems to golden gems? Right? Because keep in mind, while you can buy the golden ones, have you also considered like the blue gems you get when you do a run getting converted into more golden ones? Someone had a whole spreadsheet on it. That's great. By chance, do you know if the plus 60 damage per card works on Freezing Blade's additional hits damage on Yuki? I'm guessing not. Does it say damage amount or does it say attack card damage? Because if it says damage to attack cards, it doesn't work. If it says damage amount, it works. What is the exact wording? Press the like button to help the stream. Hey, let's go. Would it be worth farming Season 1 or Season 2 cards for either Heidemarie or Diana deck? No. Heidemarie or Diana are best farmed in the current Season Chaos. Have I beaten Nebula Distortion 9 out of 9 yet? I'm struggling to survive past round 6. I haven't seriously attempted it yet. But if this auto fails with Yuki, we can take a quick attempt. To attack cards, yeah. Yuki's bateau is not an attack card effect. You farm stage 8 in the Season Chaos. Best Sortie difficulty to farm? Whatever you can beat reliably. Because keep in mind, if you can't beat a Sortie run, you lose the 30 stamina you invested to play it. So, the best difficulty is the highest you can play, with the highest certainty of making sure you win the run. Whatever that might be is entirely dependent on the amount of investment, your general play style level, your decision making. I don't know, it's yeah. Do you see any characters, any cards in the season that could help a Tresor? There's one that's based on Agony. Hey! Very suspicious. You just beat Sortie with Magna? Sure. Yeah, I will do updated character builds, but this is very important, okay? Please consider that I am human, okay? I only have 24 hours in a day. I cannot cover everything under the sun instantly. Right? That is just the reality of things. I will cover it eventually, but when that will be, it's hard to say.
撃ちましょう。来ましたね。待機中で来ましたね。負けません。遅すぎた後悔よ。遅すぎた後悔よ。遅すぎた後悔よ。皆さん準備はいいですね。
Wait, what? You didn't know? Yeah, it's crazy, right? I don't think you have 24 hours. Yeah. I mean, I do have 28, but 28 hours is still not quite enough. But yeah, no, the easiest way... What the fuck is this? Let's make sure we get this all played out. The easiest way for me to get this done is to just involve the community and basically have others give me decks to showcase to you so that you can copy them and build it into something. That's like the most sustainable way to do it, right? Keep in mind this Selena has no gear, okay, before you judge. That's the Sortie reason reset daily? No. No, it's weekly. Now you might be wondering, dude, the fuck are you doing? Why are you bringing a character that has no gear into this run? Good question. My answer shall be... I wanted to. Yeah. So... Yeah. I decided that's what I'm gonna do. Selena and Hugo better than a Diana now? I saw the comments. I understand it. But just because you can use one specific card epiphany with a specific set of characters doesn't mean that there isn't also another build that relies entirely on Diana, right? Like, just because there is a singular epiphany on Heidemarie that works with Selena and Hugo doesn't mean that all of a sudden Diana is worthless. It's just one way to play a character. Have I cleared hardcore Sortie? I don't think so. I've played it on a difficulty level that was a little too high for what I was capable of beating at the time. So currently my track record of beating hardcore Sortie is not yet existent, so to speak. Yeah. Okay, I wonder if we already have enough damage to kill the boss. Nah, probably not. We're getting there. With like crits and all. Oh. Whoops. I fucked up. Okay, we're still alive. Okay, if we crit, he's dead.
皆小さな光を最大限に集めて鋭く華麗に
There we go. Nice and simple.
想定所要時間
Just how I planned.
にふさわしいライブだったね
Keep in mind,
計画通り
two pointless decks and a half finished, a half eaten deck. And she got the job done. And if you're wondering why was it only 30k, remember, these bosses are played on 40% damage reduction. 20%, 15%, 5%, right? These bosses are played on 40% damage reduction, so this effectively would have been closer to like 50 something thousand instead. And yeah, you saw our rotations in deck. It wasn't really that great. Okay, we beat him up. Now what? I think we now let Serenial have a bit of fun. Because we're still not where we want to be in the tower. Alright. Would Diana need her partner? No, Diana doesn't need her partner, but her partner would be good to have for Diana. Only? Oops. Have you gotten Unconscious Awakening from Sortie runs? Is it anything other than extra levels? It's just one level, so it's just more base stats. It's just more defense, more attack, more HP base stats. I think for level 60 to 61, it goes up by 9. I think you go up by 9 attack. So it's something. Keep in mind, it is base stats before you calculate gear stats. And that's level 61, not 62. I have E for Heidemarie and 2 Omega codes. I can keep pulling for another Heidemarie and save 1 Omega code or pull 1 Diana. What should I do? I would say pull 1 Diana. Yeah, I'd say first pull 1 Diana, but also keep in mind, Heidemarie is only the first unit of this season. There might be a chance that there's 2 more 5 stars coming, so that's something you need to consider as well, right? Like there is a tiny chance that the next character is a 4 star, but it's very plausible for them to be a 5 star. Dang, if deactivate 5 blades from the graveyard works with Mei Lin's Dragon Spell, that might be her best partner. It should. I wouldn't see why not. So yeah, you're getting 20 passion cards activated for Mei Lin to get hit count with. That is also, yeah, that absolutely works. I wouldn't see why that wouldn't. Tenebria will be wallet breaking. Do we have info on Tenebria? Not yet. But we know that she's coming. We have it confirmed that Tenebria is the final character of the season. I'm not sure if I should get Karen, Luca, Hugo from the selector. Maybe just based on recent relevancy, go with Hugo. But you can entirely go by design, vibe, whatever you feel like. All of them would be good. All of them will be good. So you could get bullet spam, infinite scaling, or follow up with a bit of card draw. You thought Tenebria was next? No, she's the unit after the next one. I just have FOMO about missing out on Diana because she seems nice with E6 Heidemarie. She's also nice with E4 Heidemarie. She's also nice with E0 Heidemarie. Yeah, but yeah, if you're missing out on, yeah, I would still say make sure you pick up Diana rather than go for another Heidemarie dupe. That's for sure. You wish you were more excited for Tenebria? I mean, it really decides on how they decide to implement her into the story and whatnot, to see if we need to get like actually exciting. I really think the Auto Vanity skill version is way better than the upgrades for Kron. I don't know, I feel like it depends on what you try to achieve, right? How does Hugo work with Heidemarie? Heidemaries activate 5 effulgent blades from the graveyard, activates all of Hugo's hunting command stacks, and it also activates all hunting command stacks at max stacks, making, like, truly making the most out of Hugo. And then also Hugo has the ability to go with the hunting commands creation card that makes him get a follow-up after he uses it, so he technically can turn 5 hits into 15, right? Tenebria for sure the Messiah they talking about, I think, in Chaos. Maybe that is exactly who she is. I have no idea who you're going to pick from the partner selector. I'll try to make it a bit more understandable by ranking. I think we're gonna rank how important is each partner to each character, or also the unique aspects of what they bring to the table. Like, for example, if you don't have the Typhara partner, the Typhara partner can give your team 6% crit chance. You said Hugo couldn't do 15? That's just the base, right? Turn 5 hits into 15. 5 hits from Heidemarie plus the 10 hits from Hugo, right? I don't know, you know what? I don't know if you should care about Tenebria just because she's from Epic 7. Also, why the fuck do we have a shield of 645? Ego skill, right? From Amir. Look at the auto. The auto is attacking the boss, who's currently taking 80% reduced damage. Fantastic. The level 80 Sortie is hard even without modifiers? Yep, that is what it was meant to be. It's called Hell Mode for a reason. Only on PC client, and it's through keybinds. You go into your settings and you activate keybinds. So you see, for example, how it says Shift, Escape, S, K, F1, F2, F3, A, L. So it's just keys. This is why AI fails a run. No. The way AI handles the boss in the Chaos Dungeon is different. But there is this legit chance we fail here. And people are clearing it with all the debuffs active, like how the fuck? I have no idea. I have yet to even beat the first boss on a max difficulty run. But I also don't know if maybe somebody found like an exploit to unlock the entire Sortie tree already. Let's actually have a look at YouTube and see if somebody did in fact do it. CZN Sortie Hardcore 30 out of 30. You saw a Chinese? It's always the Chinese, man. It's always the fucking Chinese. The A got close. Dupes counts, so maybe a mega whale. Maybe. They are built different. That is very true. But yeah, we'll take over auto for the boss fight. Yeah, full quietus Heidemarie is sick with Diana and Nia. Yeah, full quietus Heidemarie is also another way you can build her. The difficulty ramp from 60 to 80 is crazy. It is. Sortie hardcore 30 out of 30. It doesn't find anything. Sortie hardcore 30 out of 30. Maybe just Sortie 30 out of 30? This sounds like a scam. Okay, let's have a look. I think my guy is doing mega clickbait. Let's have a look. I don't think highly of this guy. I think he like copied a bunch of videos and like one for one translated them, especially close to release. So I wouldn't really put a lot of trust in his name. But let's have a look. What is his infinite blade creation? Might as well see if there's any value to it.
But this is a 3000 mod, so let's go ahead and see what this does for damage. And it's pretty decent, you know, 17,000.
Uh-huh. Okay. Key epiphanies and cards. The infinite blade build. Let's have a look. Ladies and gentlemen, what is wrong? What is wrong with this blade that is supposedly an infinite amount of blades? There's a few things that you could criticize here. Number one, you cannot play an infinite amount of blades because if you do, they become unusable, you know, for the turn. Number two, the epiphanies he has chosen do not stack with each other. Number three, even if this were a supposed infinite blade creation build, he isn't even creating the most amount of blades possible by using the one that creates blades based on the linked cards in your hand. What is this persona card? It's at least a discard 2 persona with the 30% damage increase and activated when discarded. That's at least good. The persona is at least nice. The persona is nice. But yeah, this is not an infinite amount of blades, right? So yeah, There we go. Hi, are you aware that delegation does not count towards progress to seasonal challenge missions? It makes sense. I mean, what are you... I mean, it looks like it does count though, no? Because how else would I currently be on like 50% season completion? Right? Like, how's my season completion 48% if it doesn't count? I must have completed some missions. No? Like... Okay, maybe not. Oh well, but it's understandable. You're meant to play the fucking game. It is impossible to send links in the YouTube chat. Yeah, I think YouTube doesn't like it. I don't think YouTube likes it. Okay. People. As sad as it is to say, we have arrived at the end for today's stream. I told you at the beginning of the stream that this one was going to be a shorter one. I only had 2 hours 30. And the 2 hours 30 are now over. And my excuse is that I'm a lazy fuck. I want to watch some sports. So that's what I'm going to do. There's some sports, so I wanna watch that, and that's what I do. If you want to, my Twitch people, you can go and rate Mr. Cosmic. You can join his stream, and you can see if you like what you see. Only 2 hours, nice TikTok short. I think it was a very successful stream. We built an Eternal Hunger Nia. Let's see. We built Eternal Hunger Nia. We built the create in the discard pile Heidemarie. We did some auto attempts on the tower. We answered a gazillion questions as always. Yeah, I think it works. You just got here. Shit happens, man.
That's it, right? That's...
It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. I appreciate all you tuning in. There will be some fun stuff tomorrow. And yeah. Bye bye.